Hello, welcome back to LiveNoding. In this episode, I will go through this add-on called Script to Button by Riffin HD. So basically, it's an add-on that can turn script or text into a button. It's actually really quite powerful. It's almost like a shelf in Maya or maybe something in Houdini. So yeah, I have this already installed. So Script to Button. And this will show up on this panel. Script button. By default, this is pretty much empty. I'm gonna create an info. So this is where we have history of what we are doing in the scene. For example, if I create a monkey, it's gonna put the monkey there at location 000. For example, I can delete this. And I will create a text editor, and I'm gonna save this. Script to button demo. Okay, so let's try something. Let's create a script. So this script will create monkey, and I'm gonna do this. So create a monkey. So by default, Blender created the monkey on the 3D cursor there, and I'm gonna bring the monkey up, around 1 or 2 units, and I'm gonna smooth the monkey, shade smooth, and then Control 2 subdivide the monkey 2 times and give it subdivisions. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 different operators. So I'm gonna put it there, and I'm gonna delete this monkey. Okay, we have nothing. If I run this command, it's gonna complain. Okay, name BPY is not defined. Okay, because this is a Blender Python script, we need to import BPY model. Okay, now if we try to run this, we have monkey head, and it's already subdivided, it's already smooth, and we translate it up. So what does this script does then? We already have a button here. That's because with this script we can have multiple lists of text, and we can just run it. We don't need to switch here and run it. So let me show you very quickly. I can add or remove a button here. I can just load it from disk or from text editor. So this one can load make monkey, for example, and it's gonna ask, okay, create a button. Okay, and this will generate this button. So now we can hide this text editor, delete everything, and just click here. It's gonna create the monkey. Oh, it says context incorrect. I think there could be a bug with this button, but for most of the cases this should work. So there's still like sometimes there's a context issue with things like shade smooth. Let me get rid of this shade smooth. Okay, this one seems to be working. It takes us to edit mode somehow. Which is kind of interesting, but don't worry about that for now. Let's say I create another text, and then this one is just gonna print hello, and let's create another button. So if I run the script multiple times, we're gonna have this hello being printed. Okay, so that works too. I want to propose one thing. It's how we deal with nodes and how we can use this script to button. Okay, So let's see, let's take a look what I have here. I have this lots of box and sphere. This one actually being generated using script, and the script will generate nodes and connect the nodes, everything in the background. Okay, so let me try running one. So we have nothing in the scene now. We have nothing. But we have this script, make box and make sphere. So for example, make sphere will supposedly make sphere, but it's not just like making sphere or making cube and then you change the size, etc. But it's similar, but we are doing it inside the nodes. So this will actually tell SphereChalk to make a bunch of nodes to generate the primitives. Okay, in this case, so I'm gonna explain very quickly. So import BPY, import random, create this variable to point at these node groups called SV, and generate a sphere, generate a mesh viewer, and then we're gonna point at the links, and we're gonna create links between the sphere node and the mesh viewer. And then this one is just to place the nodes, offset it slightly so they're not overlapping. And then this one will create this one will randomize the radius of the sphere, get the cursor position, and then assign it as matrix in. And then there's generate a vector node, and then offset it, and then plug everything together. All right, so a lot of things going on, but this is make sphere and this is make sphere button. If I run this, I have a sphere, and we have these nodes being generated using Python script. So button will run this script and create nodes. Now we can control the radius and the UV of the sphere. We have this location that's already plugged in. This location is based on the position of this 3D cursor. And we can perhaps do scaling here. Okay, let's do it one more time. I put the 3D cursor somewhere here, and then run make sphere. Again, it's generating something here. It's kind of overlapping, but I know the one on the top. I can just hit L and then just drag this to the side. So this is the second sphere. Can scale it. And I can do this again and again. So you might notice that every time I create a sphere, it's random in radius, because this Python script is doing that while it's generating the nodes. So this will be created over and over again. That's the only thing currently. It's gonna generate a lot of nodes, right? It's nothing. I mean, it's simple process. It generates the nodes, and the nodes will generate primitives. Why do I do that? Because this is all supposedly still procedural, and I can at any time in point maybe do something here more with the nodes. This generates the surface, and so all of this still they are still alive. And the nice thing about this, of course, we can turn this into quick favorites. So quick favorites, I call it the Q menu because I don't need to remember hotkeys. This one allows me to quickly make sphere. Okay, so this is what I did. So I'm taking advantage of 3D cursor, of course. 3D cursor actually have orientation as well, but I can generate sphere on top of another sphere, just like that. So it's kind of like growing the sphere. Not really. I mean, you might think, right, you can already do this using 3D cursor and Blender Shift A, mesh, sphere, UV sphere, right? You can do that as well, of course. Why am I doing this? Because the difference is that we are using this Python code that being called here, and it generates the nodes. So it's seems like slightly more convoluted, but this can do more. So if you want to do the same thing even without using the Python or nodes, you can just create a sphere, like calling it here UV sphere. This one actually will work as well, except that this one does not have history. It does not have the node history. So this is a very interesting way. Imagine if we can kind of run something like this with grease pencil, for example. You just draw grease pencil and then just keep calling the script. I don't know if this is gonna work yet, but I think it's quite interesting to try this. And usually with all these nodes, this is Blender thing, if I select all the nodes and then hold options and then change the radius, it's gonna change it for everything. Everything that's still alive and as nodes will change. So I can option click, change the value here, maybe 6 by 6. So all the resolutions of my sphere will become 6 by 6. Same deal. I actually create the sphere script first, and then I create a make box, very similar, make sphere and make box. The difference is that here I'm generating box node, and then I change the, instead of radius, this is supposed to be box size. So if I'm using the box, I generate random size of box and position the box on the 3D cursor. Because here I have Python script that I have Python script that simply grab the locations of the 3D cursor and just use it. I think this is pretty neat. So make box, place 3D cursor, make box, place make box. So currently not much control on the placement. Is simply just grab the 3D cursor and then assign it here. What was the latest one I generate? ZPL-TKU. It's somewhere here, definitely. I think. Let me try again. Make box, okay. NCMH. Okay, this is the last box that I created. They are overlapping, but I know that's the last one. The last one is the box. So we have sphere and the box. You can see here. If for the box, for example, I change the radius while holding the option, it should change the size of the box. And I can offset all this box, I think. Oh, okay, in this case it's offsetting everything. Still pretty interesting. And with the box in sphere chalk, for example, if I place another box, make box. So what's the last one? We cannot see the last box being created. However, we can use this matrix, change the scale. So this could be interesting. Maybe I should, when creating a box, so I'm deleting all the nodes, right? But I still have all these primitives. which is also kind of interesting. So I can move this into new collections and simply collapse all this. So this is my previous history. I place the 3D cursor and generate box once again. So this box is clean, only 4 nodes. Maybe I should also create this matrix in for the box because it's special, and we can just scale this. So every time we generate a new box, is overlapping. Maybe I should select the nodes and yeah. Okay, so I think really the idea is to make it really like streamlined. Of course, not forgetting that we also have a way to save preset here. Inside SphereChalk itself, there is a panel that can save the nodes. Oops, okay, there's this guy, okay. Select the nodes, and this is preset and save node preset. Save selected node as preset. I have a feeling this one is broken. This should be just a button. But anyway, there's also something here in this panel. Save preset. Box. 2 box, right? So this will create a box. And I can offset height. I can delete everything and create box again. So really the idea here, I want to make things more streamlined. Currently it's all kind of all over the place, right? But ideally we only work in the 3D view, and I want to interact with all these boxes. But while interacting, it's also generating nodes. It's kind of like a dream. Okay, of course it's making it like more like Maya or Houdini, but inside Blender, that will be nice. It's similar to when we are working with BoxCutter. I think BoxCutter so far is one add-on with the most beautiful interface, and also lots of really cool workflow underneath. So I'm really like making a cut and boolean, but underneath, of course, BoxCutter is doing something magical, because BoxCutter is using the Blender modifier, and if we reveal the modifier is stack. So I almost forget about this panel. Okay, this is all the boolean that's being generated using BoxCutter. So I think BoxCutter is always something that I'm aiming with SphereChalk. So we can work in the 3D view, whether it's in object mode or in edit mode or any other mode. And while we are working on the operations, the nodes can stack. SphereChalk might be slightly different, I mean a little bit harder to create this kind of workflow. However, there's an add-on called SoarCar. SoarCar might actually work. So if we have interface in 3D view and we're doing operations, cut or whatever, like this is BoxCutter still, right? We can, with BoxCutter we can change modes to slice, intersect. It's really quite powerful. And if I make another, so it's doing intersect, again it's doing this stacking of objects that we can always change at any time. Really quite powerful, and this is still editable. So that's the, usually by default Blender itself have really quite powerful modifier. It's really fast, and the modifier will stack up, especially in Blender 2.9. You can just stack it like this, and then you hit Command A to apply the stack. I think, oh, it didn't work. With BoxCutter, you can just apply all. Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay, it works. So yeah, that's the whole story that I want to show you. I kind of drifted a little bit, but this is script to button. It's not perfect. This script to button is also slightly buggy sometimes. I might have talked about script recorder as well in the past. So something that I think with a script recorder or script to button that can work with nodes and then all can work together as a more streamlined workflow when working with 3D and in Blender and using nodes. All right. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.